In this part 2 of the double vent suit coupling, we need an extra attention to be able to get the techniques that will help bring out the suit very well. So to the downside, I will fold it 2 inches, the allowance we kept for our folding. Now that I'm done folding it, I'll be joining the right side of the lining to the right side of the bodies. Just like this, the notches should align. And when I get to this line, my stitch is going to stop just at that line. And I will sew it 1 inches to that lining and the interface. You see, so that's where 1 inches to that stitch line. I'll do the same thing to the other side. Here I will make sure everything I do it for the both side for clarity's sake. I'll still end at that line, that folded line. I'll make sure both my lining and the main bodies lies very well before stitching it from this point. So to my cutting table now, I'll be trimming out the lining for like the excess at the down part of this suit. And as well reduce the front body stitch here from that 1/2 inches to 1/4 of an inch. And now watch carefully what I'm going to do here. At this angle here, I'm drawing a straight line down and I'll measure 1/4 and 1/8. So it's almost 1/2 of an inch less with 1/4. So I connected this point for that peak collar to come out. I'll sew it from there. So watch how I cut it. I didn't cut it like according to how the line is that I drew, that pen. I cut it from this side, like, have you seen? So I slanted it to that peak side. And look at how I cut this edge so that it will be pointed. So I'll do the same thing to this other side. So that is my hemming gum. I'll be sewing it like away from the real stitch I made. Take note that I didn't divide the hemming gum. So now I will be bracing the suit, bracing it. It's called bracing. The thread is not double. But before I do that, there is this place I folded before doing the, like fixing the chest pocket, that break point of the lapel. We are going to be using it on this bracing. Like that, look at the break point. So I didn't really want to iron it because I don't like over ironing my stuff, mostly for materials like this one. This is where the break will be. That's the break point, like this. So to this point here, yes, where my left hand is. So I will measure from the down there. I'll measure to this point and I will mark it with a chalk. So I think I have like 16.5 inches. Are you seeing? So I will mark that point. That's the break point. So if I iron it, I'm supposed to like have the line as the guide when I'm bracing this suit. So look at how I folded this lining inwardly. Just check carefully. This is it, how it's supposed to be. And I'll start the bracing a little bit away from the lining. Make sure the seams are a little like shifted to the lining side, so that none of the seam will show on the bodies, the front like this. Are we seeing a bit like shifted to the lining side? If you cannot make it exactly. So on that place I marked, while bracing it, I will make sure the seam shift like completely to the bodies from that break point. We think this is how it's supposed to be. It means the seam is supposed to be shifted completely to the main bodies. Are we seeing? So it means the lining is going to overshadow the bodies. The lining, the interface, like this. So before I tighten it a little, I'll make sure the thing doesn't fold. I braced the two sides, both the left and the right bodies. So I'm giving it a nice press. Make sure everything lies very, very well. So here, just watch carefully how I will fold the lining this way. Just watch. So I'll do that to the two parts and take it to the cutting table. Here I will trim out the lining part that is above the bodies. Watch carefully. So here the lining will be above the bodies by 3/4 of an inch, and this armhole side by 1/2 of an inch. So here I will be cutting, leaving that place I stitch like that, because if I cut it, the thing will lose. So I don't want it to lose. So I had to avoid that place I stitch. That's why you are seeing that. Make sure your suit is well placed, and this place here is that we held, and that shape of the suit that makes that place come out like that. So here we are going to notch that 1/2 inches we kept from the back bodies when we're cutting the suit. That's where the back body is going to meet with the front body's vent. And now to this side, I want the lining to be a bit bigger by 1/4 of an inch. You know, it's better your lining is free inside than the lining being short inside. So here I'm keeping 3/4 of an inch here like this. Now I will notch this point. This is where the lining of the bodies, front bodies and the back bodies will meet too. I will do the same thing to this other side of the suit. Exactly what I did to the other side. And that is all. We start joining it now. So the back bodies will now be attached to the front bodies, right side to right side. Make sure you follow me carefully. So I'm very conscious those two veins slits are matching each other like this. I'm arranging them. So now I'll be following that line, that folded line on the back bodies, that veins, that line for the veins. And I'll go down when I reach this angle by 1/2 of an inch to align with the notch they made here. This notch is here. And now to this other side that there is no line, we will notch it there so that we can be able to iron, like open press, stuff like this. So now we take the other bodies again to attach to the back. Now this side here, the line for that vent is now inside. So you have to be guided. Use your hand to feel it where it follows. Make sure you don't pass the line either in or out. So I will still give it a notch. Not on the side that has the line, that folded line. No. It's on the front bodies we are notching. So lining to lining, right side to right side. And those notches should align. Now, when we notch the back lining, when we're cutting it, we also notch the front lining while we're trimming it. But we are going to use the back notch like this one. So because during the process, everything, this line is what we are going to be using. During the process, the front lining was short because of the cutting, like the trimming. So we are using the notch for the back lining. This notch, that's what is necessary. So we are flipping it to the other side again where the lining is. We're going to be joining it as well. I repeat, in a case where the notch for the front bodies lining and the notch for the back bodies lining doesn't meet, stop your stitches at the notch of the back lining. That's what is important. So just exactly like that. This is where the technique comes. Please watch carefully when doing this vent. So this is the line for the front bodies. So this notches here we made where we stopped our sewing on the lining is going to join with this vent here. This vent, that place we curved, like this is where they are going to meet. Watch carefully. So this is the front bodies. The front bodies, the down part of the front bodies. This is it. I'm going to sew it. When I'm sewing it, watch carefully. I'll make sure I pull the lining from this end here. It will be the same from that point, but to this extreme here, this where the vent is, the lining will be shortened by 3/4 of an inch. Like this. Like drag to this point. It means it will come out more than the bodies. I'll trim it out. So I'll flip out to the other side of the bodies again. Front bodies, the down. This is it. I'll turn it to the wrong side. I'll do the same thing, sew it the same way I sewed the other side. So look at how I'm keeping the lining again. So I will trim out the excess of the lining too. This is what we are supposed to have. You see, that lining we shot on my right hand here is the reason why the thing slanted to this point, just like this. You see. So now I am applying, like adding hemming gum to it. Hemming gum. I didn't divide it. So now that I've done it, I'll fold it like this. Make sure the fold is like even, like this. It lies well, and I'll hold it to this middle seam, that seam there. Hold it like that. Make sure it doesn't shift. So, and I'll stitch it. So you can use your hand needle to stitch it so that it doesn't move. Have you seen? So while the hemming gum holds that folding, the stitches hold it as well. I'll repeat the same process here too. So now we are going to join the lining to the bodies. Watch carefully what I'm doing there. The lining where we stop at this notch to this point here of the vent. So make sure they align like this. They align like this. Are you seeing? So I'm pulling out, holding it this way. Are you seeing? Making sure I'm holding these two seams together like this is what we have. So to these stitches here, I will mark it with my pen for your sake. This stitch, so it's like ½ inches there. That's where my needle will stop. Even when I keep it there, I will adjust it well to make sure it aligns. Your stitches should not climb the seam of the lining. It should not climb. Should not touch the seam of the lining under. So look at what we have here. Have you seen? The stitches didn't touch themselves. And look at. So look at. Have you seen? So pull it this way again. And we have this. Pull it this way. And flip the seam to the other side. Like this way. Make sure your needle, your stitches doesn't touch the other stitches again. It should just be before the stitches. So reaching here, we are going to fold this side, this front bodies, to this side like this. Make sure it lies very well, like fold it to a point like this, following that the down folding, and sew it. So look at what we have there. The lines met at the same spot. Look at, they didn't climb those stitches. They didn't climb. So to the other side again, I'll repeat the same process. It's the same thing. Let me explain again. This lining like this, flip it to this point like this. Make sure those points meet exactly how they are. Everything. So this is what we have there. So we're flipping it to the other side again. So make sure this line is like directly with the other line, as straight as that. And now coming to this point, we fold it that way again. So this is what we have. Look at how straight those lines are. So now joining the shoulders, the front bodies to the back body shoulders, joining it from the armhole side. So you know the padding we use, we didn't gum it to the extreme there. So we are going to be lifting the padding so that we don't stitch it together with the bodies. Sewing it with 1/2 inch. So this is how it should be ironed, like this. Front bodies to back bodies, shoulder again. Now I'll be flipping it inside that padding, that chest part, like this. While I sew all through. This is what we have. Now to the lining, back bodice lining and front bodice lining, shoulder joining from the armhole as well. And I'll repeat the same thing to the other side of the shoulder. So this is the neck, how it looks like. That is it. Now I'm going to the ironing table. I'm going to open press that seam, shoulder seam. Make sure you open press it very well. So this is how it's supposed to be. Now, if like trying to open press it, the gum was too close, the padding was too close to the opening, use your iron so that you adjust the padding and open it. And return back the padding. So to the sides where we have the vent joint, you're going to be open pressing it as well. So we are flipping it to the right side so that we can iron the vein. Lay it very well. And now watch carefully what I'm going to be doing here. Using your hand to make sure the lining is pulled like this. And to this side here, you have to hold your hand here and turn it to the right side, the wrong side. Look at how it's folded. Straighten it like this and make sure your fingers from the out hold it this way. Make sure the thing lies very well. You see? Then press it. So this is what we have there. So if you do it very well, that's how clean it's supposed to come out. Hold it from inside. Make sure you make it lie again and press it. Press it like from the right side. This is what we are supposed to have. Press it very well from the outside. Make sure your lining like this aligns like this. Now I will turn it to the wrong side like this. Place it wild and well. Make sure everywhere is well arranged in this order, so we can fold the down part. Now iron it very well. So to the machine now, I'll be flipping it to the wrong side. Make sure I hold it like this order. Those vents line like this. I hold it like this. While stitching it, I'll make sure in the middle of this place here that I'm holding my right hand here, it will be above the normal fabric by 1/2 inch. Now sew it 1/4 above, like out of the folded line, 1/4, like this. Sew it to the midpoint. Now stop. Turn to the other side to complete the stitches. So this is what we will have. And I will add my hemming gum to it. And I'll fold it like this and stitch it with that seam. So this is what we have there. Turning it to the right side. Make sure when you are pulling it out, it follows that folded line to those angles there. This is what we are supposed to have. Now go to the ironing table and give it a nice press. So after pressing it, I will go to my machine now and hold the chest part to that shoulder seam, like I said, like this. Flip it like this and make sure it doesn't shift. Hold it together like this with the seam and stitch it. And now to that shoulder, that armhole side, on that shoulder joining, I'll top stitch it there again. I'll do the same thing to the other side of the bodies. And this is the result we are going to have. So let me just put it on so that you see how it's supposed to look like. We'll iron it when we are done fixing the neck. From there, we'll iron the break points and some touching before the sleeves. Yes, this is what we have. Just wait for the next lesson below.